Come on in, my beautiful people. Come on in. We are live this evening. Yes, what a delay. What a sweet delay. Thank you for those who are joining in this evening. Thank you for coming on in. What a blessing it is today to be able to have access. Thank you. I'm trying to set up this recording on this other platform, and our stream is delayed this evening, but you know there's a popular saying that goes, delay does not mean denial. And what that simply means is we have access. We have access to every great thing. We have access to all that which we need. And isn't that something awesome to know that whatever we need, we have access to it? But sometimes we miss the opportunities to grab a hold of the accesses that we have to ascertain all that which we need to be the best version of ourselves. And in saying that, I just want to jump quickly into it. And what's in your heart is one of the first questions I would love to ask you. And I don't know if you are easily offended and often react rather than respond like I once used to, and allow what was said to get into your head because you didn't know how to guard your heart. And guarding your heart, it's I want to just quickly state here that there's a scripture that talks about guarding your heart because out of it flows the issues of life, from the book of Proverbs chapter 4 verses 23. I hope I'm saying the right verse, but if not, it is in the book of Proverbs chapter 4, so you'll be able to navigate and find it. But sometimes some of the possible reasons for offense sometimes is the fact that we may lack understanding. It may be because we have challenges communicating effectively what's on our heart, or it may be that something was exposed or triggered when someone said something to us and we became easily offended. And sometimes some of those things that may have been exposed or triggered, it could be bad habits, it could be some traits, it could be some attitudes. And sometimes these traits or these attitudes, they are not necessarily a good thing sometimes, because sometimes we may pick up certain traits along the way in our past lives from the culture in which we grew up, and sometimes these cultures are from our very homes. Sometimes these very cultures, or these traits rather, they are from our parents. And sometimes not to say that our parents have not raised us well, not to say our parents have not done an excellent job in raising us to be the best individuals, but sometimes we take on the traits of our parents because that's all we've seen and known. That's the environment in which we are, which we have been raised, we have been cultured, we have been formed. And so as we go along, we take on some of the traits of our parents, not realizing that sometimes some of these traits, they are not necessarily beneficial to us going forward or going to the next level in our lives. And sometimes these traits, we may not necessarily recognize that they are so embedded in us. They have become such a part of us that we are not necessarily able to see that they can be a detriment or a possible detriment to us. What do I mean by that is they are conversations I used to have with my husband, and before he was my husband, I'm talking about the stages where we were just dating. And I remember he used to ask some questions, he used to say certain things, and I would get so easily offended at times that I would just react. I would just what's that word I'm looking for? I would just like almost like an attack kind of things. I almost like I'm attacking him with my reaction, and sometimes I'm not fully aware of it. Sometimes it is after the fact when our conversation would have ended and we would have parted ways. I would sit with myself sometimes and I would just replay the conversation we had. And sometimes I'll be saying, God, what was that about? Like, almost sometimes, like, it's almost like I catch myself. Like, I would say, what was that aura? Or I'll say, I think he's the one who something is wrong with. But the truth of the matter is, I realized later down the road that most of the times those reactions were truly coming from a place that I did not necessarily know how to communicate effectively some of what was within my heart. I truly did not know how to do that, and because of that, I would react and we would both end up leaving the conversation not 100% satisfied. And I later recognized that I picked up some of the traits from the culture or from the home I was raised in, and I recognized this after the fact when we were married. And some of the times it's after being around a family member and the way in which we'd interact and stuff like that, I'll recognize that, whoa, what is that all about? And sometimes when my husband would pick me up from that family member's home, while we're going home, I'll be sharing with him what transpired throughout the day. But as we're going along the journey, sometimes it's almost as if physically I'm present, but mentally I am absent. I'm absent in the sense that I was thinking on the conversation or the engagement or the interaction I had with that family member throughout the day. And I recognized that I picked up those traits from there, from the culture in my home. I recognized that it was not necessarily the best thing to have adapted to. And so I can remember one evening coming home with my husband. I was crying. I don't even think he recognized I was crying because I was not crying aloud, but tears were just flowing from my eyes. Tears were flowing from my eyes because I'm saying to myself, God, I want to be the best version of myself. I want to be the individual that you have called me to be. I want to be that wife you have called me to be. I want to be that woman you have called me to be. I want to be that mother that you have called me to be. I want to be the best version in every aspect of my life that he has called me to be. And in journeying along the way, coming home that evening, as the tears flowed from my eyes, in my heart, I was saying to myself, God, I know that this individual means me well. I know that this individual has made great impact on my life growing up. However, the things that will no longer serve me good to be the best version of myself, I want to disassociate myself from it. I want it to be cut off. I want it to be no longer a part of me. Because what we don't understand sometimes is when something so much becomes a part of us, it seems like it's the natural or the normal thing or an okay thing, but it's not necessarily always an okay thing. And sometimes because we might tell ourselves that nothing is wrong, everything is okay, this is what I know, this is how I was raised, this is what I saw, that means this is what I'll do. No, it doesn't necessarily mean that we have to operate in all of what we saw modeled in our homes, especially if it's not a model to the best of where we're going, right? And people are like our mirrors. Sometimes people can see what we are not able to see. And if we take a very simple look at the mirror in our homes, when we stand before the mirror, we may see ourselves, we may see things in the background, we may see things at a certain angle depending on how the mirror may be positioned. We may see little spots, little dots, little smears in the mirror, and those dots, smears, or spots may be mist from our body sprays, they may be mist from our hair products, they may be mist from our facial products and stuff like that. They just may be simply smears from our fingers when we do something like that and touch the mirror, and so we see all of those things. And in a similar way, individuals are like our mirrors, where they can see the things that we may be blindsided to. We may see it and think it's okay. We may sit and tell ourselves that we'll deal with it later or at another time. But what we may miss is that is a perfect opportunity to address the spots, to address the smears, to address the smears and stuff like that, and take the opportunity to just clean that mirror. In the very same way, it is an opportunity for us to do some introspection. It is an opportunity for us to look within ourselves and maybe see that there needs to be some form of decluttering. There needs to be some form of detoxification. There needs to be something that will make us more beautiful, because when we clean the mirror, all the spots and smears, we'll see in the mirror is now very clean, it's very clear. We're able to see everything smooth and clear and beautiful. And when we are also looking in a mirror, if it has all those spots and smears and we want to take a picture, that will not be showing us a beautiful picture, right? So in the very same way, within us, we have to learn to do that sort of a thing, introspect ourselves and do the clearing, the cleaning, and the decluttering. And with that said, I just want to encourage you today, my Woman of Worth community, the woman who may be watching this, the woman who may come across this on the replay, the woman who may be saying to herself that my heart is heavy, my heart is cluttered, my heart is filled with so many issues of this life that I just don't know where to start. I just don't know how to do right by myself. I want to encourage you today to let you know that this is an opportunity for you to seize and to look within yourself and say to yourself, maybe this person who is I'm having a conversation with, maybe they're not necessarily trying to show you up excuse me, or to make you feel bad or feel guilty and stuff like that. Maybe it is that they're tugging on something that is within you that needed to be exposed in order for you to address it, so that you can see yourself as clear as they, so you can behold your face in the mirror and know that you are worth a second chance, knowing that you are worth loving, knowing that you are worth cared for, knowing that you are worth the patience and time, knowing that you are worth the investment, knowing that you are worthy of all the great things. And so today I just want to say to you that I love you, but God loves you more. Shalom. Bye bye.